What's your idea? I have it. I have an idea.
So what are we talking about, guys? I guess we're going to talk about the property tax assessment, right, Jeff?
I think so.
What else is in the news? We have country music that's in the news that Hollywood's trying to make them go low.
Totally offensive country music.
We can try to talk about that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about the Barbie movie you want to talk about?
Oh, how it's actually a right-wing movie and not a subversive feminist movie. It's actually right-wing.
Huh.
It's a Shakespearean tragedy.
Well, that's interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on that. You know what, guys? I think we just found our intro. We're going to do that. We're going to use this for the intro. How about that?
We can do
My
it.
name is Chris, and this is Up Front with Jeff Coleman. Welcome to Up Front with Jeff Coleman. My name is Chris, and I'm sitting across the table from Representative Jeff Coleman, and we are also going to welcome in Mr. Dakota Worrell. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's Dakota doing?
Couldn't be better, Jeff.
As a regular now.
This is where I belong, I think.
You definitely belong, buddy. You belong somewhere.
Somewhere. I am Knuff.
Over the rainbow?
Yeah.
No.
What are we talking about? So, let me jump in and get some order here, guys. Just like we said in the intro, what I think we're actually discussing what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to use that for the intro. We're going to talk about how country music has the left going crazy, and they're trying to actually cancel country music. And we got to do a deep dive back into these property tax assessments because this is getting crazy. Don't forget, guys, Monday is the absolute last day to get your property tax assessment refigured, to get them appealed. Thank you. I just forgot the word. Yes, to get them appealed. So after you pass the salt and pepper to Deborah, I want you to talk about how to do the appeal, where everybody's at, what you're going to do with the property taxes. By the way, let me throw this in as a little side note and sidebar. We came over to Coleman's house to do the podcast, and lo and behold, the Colemans made some awesome pulled pork. I am so excited to... I'm going to be chomping it down here in a second with my second sandwich, so I'm going to let you guys do the talking while I'm going to eat. How about that?
Don't forget your wife and her cheesy potatoes.
And let me tell you, yeah, I'm going to rag on those as well.
Her own recipe.
Yes, and they were good.
Holy cow.
We're eating good in the neighborhood.
I think we have to trademark that one.
So let me go ahead and start off with the property taxes, because that way you can eat. And so property taxes, as you mentioned, Chris, we have the final day on Monday to appeal your assessed value. And what I encourage you to do this because, oh my gosh, we are just awesome today with hitting our mics and doing things. I encourage you to do this because I'm hearing good results from the people who have already had their meetings with the assessors, and they are going backwards. There is other activity going on, and I think, Dakota, you can maybe chime in on this as well, because I know that the City of Independence is actually filing a suit against the county.
So I believe a week or so ago, City Councilman Mike Steinmeier and City Councilman Bryce Stewart both brought resolution forth on the council to have the City of Independence sue Jackson County because of how the property tax assessments are affecting our people in Independence. So, if Jackson County isn't going to protect us, the City of Independence will. And I think that's That's an exceptional job being done by our city councilmen. They're great guys to have in Independence. So, you know, at least someone's fighting for us. You know, I live in Independence. Crest lives in Independence. So it's good that someone from home is actually stepping up and doing something to help us out.
You know, it also sounds like that talking to Councilman Steinmeier, it sounds like Green Valley is going to be getting on board. They've reached out to Raytown, Grandview, and Lee Summit, and he said it sounds like they're getting on board with the resolution as well. So I think a lot of positivity is going to come out of this, and hopefully what legislator Sean Smith was saying, that they're actually trying to get Frank White to roll back the assessments and put them on hold like they did during COVID. But I guess he's just not willing to do that.
It's interesting that he did that, what was it, 2 years ago? And they talked about how it was because of COVID, but we all know that there could have been another reason, because I think Frank White was up for re-election, was he not?
You know, around that time, I believe he was.
Yes,
and I
he
think
was.
we said if you guys elect Frank White, your property taxes are going to double.
I've been talking about this for the last 4 years, and it just is so frustrating.
Well, you might know what you're talking about by now,
Yeah,
you know?
you would think so. And the thing that's really disappointing is how the Republican caucus this past year put together a bill from Senator Tony Luetkemeyer and put it out that, hey, we're doing all this stuff for the seniors. Tony's bill, Senator Luetkemeier's bill, would freeze age 65 and older, or let me back that up. It would freeze property taxes for those who are Social Security eligible.
Right.
And there's some little hidden things that we need to know about that, but I'll come back to that. So it freezes property taxes for anybody who is Social Security eligible, and it also stops any taxation on Social Security state taxes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. We have a Speaker of the House who is running for Lieutenant Governor. Mm-hmm. We have a President Pro Tem of the Senate who is running for Secretary of State. Mm-hmm. So it's to their benefit to get a bill out that they know they can get across the board on both sides of the legislature. And this bill was what they decided to go with. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because this bill is vague, it's ambiguous, and none of the counties like it. And in fact, I believe it was St. Louis City that has taken a vote, and they are not doing anything with this vote.
Well, it kind of leaves open to interpretation for the counties. Like, it leaves it up to them what to do about it.
Right. One of the big concerns is if they have to give back some of the monies that the Social Security people are going to get back. Because remember, what this bill does is it freezes the taxes, but it does not freeze the assessments.
Right.
So as the assessments continue to go up, it would cause the ability for the county to collect the taxes for the overage mm-hmm. from the frozen amount to what the new assessed values would be. And then they would have to turn around and reimburse that Social Security person.
So are they going to have to make up that difference from people who are not in that eligible category?
No, I don't think so. But here's what does happen. The question is, if they have to reimburse their portion, mm-hmm. they need to reimburse. Somebody has to reimburse for the other municipalities, the school districts,
right?
The libraries, your fire. So in those folks, there's nothing in there to say that they have to reimburse. It's only the county.
Right.
So, Jeff, Well, hey, I'm hot now. Technical difficulties on my end, and I'm the guy controlling the board. So what's going to happen with their levies if the county does end up rolling all this back? What's going to happen to the city levies and the other municipality school boards and stuff like that?
Well, they're all going to come back out and ask for an increase. If they feel that with this frozen value that they're not getting enough money in, then they'll come back out to the people and they'll have to ask the people to vote on an increase on the levy. But the problem is only pieces of that need to be or possibly need to go up.
Right.
And so it's a real, the bill wasn't well thought out.
No, and I just want to say about that bill, it seems like it was just a sort of, it was thrown together at the last minute and thrown out as a sort of crumb to placate people in the meantime, when they could have just passed your bill this entire time for the 4 years that you've been proposing it. I mean, it's so lame and stupid what they're doing.
It's interesting that it's going to sound like I'm just sour grapes because my bill didn't get passed. But when I talk to people now, because now they know what I've been telling them the last 4 years, that this was going to happen. Now that it's happened, now they understand, and now they want my legislation to pass because everybody gets something out of this.
Right.
It's not just one sector of the people. It's not the municipalities that are going to lose. Everybody gets what they want. The people, the municipalities get everything they had last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, plus they get 2% per year if they decide they need that 2%. Mm-hmm. They don't have to go up 2%. And if the other part of it is, if inflation ever comes back down, consumer price index will also come into play. So it's 2% or consumer price index, whichever is lower.
Right. And
right?
if inflation is lower than 2%, which right now seems like a dream,
yeah,
then that will be the rate that they or the measure that they use.
That's right.
Is this kind of important for our next governor pick as well? Someone friendly to you and your purpose, your bill? Would that be someone to look at? I mean, I know I'm not asking you to put out there who you're going to back and who your favorite is among the three that I've declared right now. Obviously, you're not going to vote for the, what's her name, Crystal Quay, the Democrat. We've seen what she does on the House floor. Anyway, I digress. But
we also see what she does on the roller derby floor.
Oh, I don't know about that. I can't talk about that.
That's her original ad is her on the roller derby.
Oh, really?
She's skating around the skating rink, and I don't know if she's really on a roller derby team, but that was her ad.
Weird.
And why was that the thing that makes me want to think, I want that as my governor?
I know.
You know? I'm not saying that anything bad about roller derby, but like...
how are people going to affiliate and associate with me? How am I going to look like the common person? Oh, I'm going to go roller derbying? Is it roller derbying with an ing?
I don't care.
I mean, if you roller derby, if you have done it, it's an ed, right? Roller derbied.
Roller derbied with an apostrophe d. Roller derbied.
I guess
could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's digress on this. You know, so would it be important also to
it
for the
could be
governor pick? I know there's three of them out there, and I don't want to get off subject on that either. It's just Kehoe, our lieutenant governor, is going to be running for governor. Jay Ashcroft, our Secretary of State, is going to be running for governor. I'm sorry, those two have declared their governorship, going to be running for governor. And then we have
Bill Eigel.
Bill Eigel, he's a current state senator, and he's still in the exploratory phase.
Right.
So anyway, would it be important for a governor pick to pass legislation like yours?
I hope not. And I say that because
that was a lot of words just asking you that one question, man. I'm sorry.
I hope not, because I hope I will be refiling this legislation in December, and everybody knows it. All the legislature knows my bill. And especially after this year and this debacle that's happening right now, I think that they'll take a much more serious look at this. And leadership better take a serious look, because if they do what they did last year, they'll see the consequences in their election.
Yep.
You know, speaking of leadership, we have floor leader John Patterson in Jackson County, and I don't know what he's been hearing, but I know he has to been hearing a lot about this property tax debacle. I don't know about Speaker Plocker. He's from the opposite side of the state, and I don't know what they're going through over there, but I know their rates have went higher. I just don't know if has been as severe as ours has been.
It's not as severe, but it's still way more than it should be.
You know, Jackson County is in a unique position because we have the fantastic idiot Frank White running the county. So we're probably uniquely worse off as far as those things go. But I would say that personally, in my personal opinion, anyone that's running for governor, one of their first priorities ought to be supporting your property tax reform legislation.
Well, hopefully we'll get it heard earlier this year. We'll get them. I know that floor leader John Patterson has been really, really supportive of my bill. And so I think if we can get it to him, he'll get it to the floor, and we'll get that information going quicker this year, because I think he'll get more involved. He will be our next Speaker of the House.
Right.
And so with that being said, I think that you'll see a much more engaged floor leader. Last year was his first year. He's trying to get his legs under him. He did an awesome job, and I do believe that next year we'll see a much different push on different things, and I think you'll see a push on this legislation.
It'll be real nice to have a Speaker of the House who's from home.
Yes.
One of our guys.
You know,
We haven't had that since Senator Searpoy.
I was going to say, it's been since Senator Searpoy, since we had someone on this side of the state be running for that position.
And
The interesting thing about how that all came about is the floor leader.
Are we going to bring that up?
The floor leader had to leave, and Mike took over because he was assistant floor leader. So he took over the first time, and then he did win the second election. So,
you know, backtracking just a little bit, Representative Patterson, floor leader Patterson. What's his title? What do we call that guy? Dr. Patterson, Representative Patterson, floor leader Patterson.
Floor leader.
Have him.
Dr. Representative Floor Leader.
Have him send you a text and see what his official title is. But no, he did a good job. He was getting his legs underneath him, but I think he did a fantastic job.
He did. Yes, I agree with you. Did a really good job. So we'll get that moving along, I think, this next year. With all of this happening, hopefully we can get Frank White to move things backwards. If he doesn't, I may have to do it in the legislature, and then we're going to have some people that aren't going to be happy, because if this year your values went up, the average, what they say is 30. Preston Smith, I heard him on the news last night. He's saying an average of 36.7. And if I have to roll it back myself from the legislature, they're not going to like it. So hopefully he hears what is going on, and we get this thing rolling in the right direction, because it's going to be it's not going to come out good for them if I can get the support to do that.
I almost want you to do it.
Well, the people.
No, I mean, just out of spite, I hope that does happen like that.
Well, and you got to think about this. Even though it would be fun to be spiteful to him, really the whole reason for this legislation in the first place is to protect the people.
No,
right?
you're absolutely
Right.
right.
And so-
that does need to be clarified.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I want the people to know the whole purpose of this legislation was to protect them and their homes. And nobody, not even the people, really put too much attention to this.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, it's funny, my wife and I were watching TV the other day, and all you hear is on the news is about what's going on with property taxes. And she said,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, she
Everybody's
said-
still talking about it.
Did you really think that this was all going to be the talk of the town when you did this? I said, well, at the time, not really, but the longer it went, the more I kept telling people, yeah, I did expect this to come out like this, if we didn't get it done before. And nobody really paid attention. They got upset in 2019. Oh my gosh, my property taxes went up this much. But then they paid it and they forgot about it. And then Frank didn't do anything in 2021 because he knew he had an election coming up. And everybody was okay, not that big of a deal. And then I told him that once he did that, once he's elected, watch out, and here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are.
Yep. So anyway, that's where we are, and we can move on to another topic because that one just frustrates people.
I think people have noticed also, Jeff, that Frank White has his property tax on that giant mansion of his, excuse me, only went up 7%. 7%.
Well, how lucky of him.
And mine went up 38.
Well, ask his neighbors how they feel. Directly
Oh,
to
I'm sure his
right,
neighbors are pretty.
directly to his left.
You know, I want to know, him and the McLeans are pretty close friends.
Yeah.
And guess who the attorney is that put the lawsuit, big lawsuit up against Frank?
Who was
The class action suit.
The class action suit.
it? Who was it?
The McLeans.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Even they're frustrated, or did they just see an opportunity?
Well, they might have seen monetary.
I mean, that's how he made his money. His class action lawsuits.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So, yeah, well, we're going to keep working for the people on this. We're going to
That's
try
good.
to get this
good.
situated, and people have been emailing and calling, and I was in Costco. I almost said Price Chopper. I was just in Costco yesterday, and someone recognized me, and they came up, and
You're a big
That's-
celebrity now,
yeah,
Jeff.
no, I wouldn't say that. I'm just the person that they think's going to try to
Yeah.
save them, and I wish I could have had that kind of attention earlier, but we'll
Right,
get there.
right.
We'll get there.
Well, do you think that people are going to look at this and say, "Oh, wow, there's still going to be light on this past Monday, past the final date"? Because I know there was a spotlight shined on this issue, and then it slowly just faded away back into the background. I mean, I think, COVID happened also, and all that stuff coming up to it. But for 4 years, like you said, you've been working on this issue, and you've been saying, okay, this just happened, and then looking forward, hey, it's going to happen again. Do you think this is still going to be on top of people's minds?
I think this time people get it.
They get it.
I do think that they get it because I think this is the first time that they really just got punched right in the gut, and I think it's going to stay with them for a while. But you know what? We didn't talk about this in our introduction, but it just reminded me about the fact
Let's
that
throw it in.
yeah, we're gonna merge into another topic that kind of relates to this. I have, for the last year, been researching how we can separate Jackson County from Kansas City.
That's funny they mentioned that because I was going to try to segue into that.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
I was asked recently, hey, is Coleman still trying to do that?
Yeah.
guess what? I got some information finally this last week.
Bring it on and tell me, what do we got?
Well, my assistant texted me, said, I got to talk to you. Good stuff. And we got back from the research department, and it sounded really good because it started off by the fact that all we have to do is get 100 signatures on a petition. We take it into the Jackson County Legislature, and they may put it on the ballot. I'm like, well, okay, wait a second.
Is it that easy?
Yeah, it is that easy, but here's the problem. That one word that people don't always pay attention to is may. Instead of saying shall, which means they have to.
Okay, let's talk about these legalese words real quick.
Yeah.
We have to make sure may and shall.
So what you need then is the support of a legislature,
That's
Jackson
right.
County Legislature.
Yep, that's right. So, well, I'm gonna bring somebody else into this because one of our country DJs, Dale Carter.
Oh yeah,
He's an awesome guy.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He has his own podcast, and he does an awesome job.
Dale Carter's America.
That's right. Awesome. He's had me on a couple of times, and it was a lot of fun. Well, he and I have been talking about this for a little bit, and what we're up against. What we're up against is the fact that we have to get the Jackson County Legislature to agree with us. And he thinks, let's forget about Jackson County. Let Kansas City keep Jackson County. And let's start at the Kansas City city limits on the east side. And let's create a whole new county.
You said within the Kansas City city limits?
Yeah. No, on
Not-
the
not-
east side of Kansas City
Okay,
would be the new county.
not Eastern Jackson County.
That is eastern Jackson County.
Okay.
Everything east of Kansas City,
So Eastern Jack.
Eastern
He's wanting
Jack,
to just call that a different county.
we'll just call it a different county.
The county of Truman.
Truman County is
Truman County.
what
I
we
mean,
were
that's
thinking
what-
about.
Yeah.
Because
That'd be the logical step to go down.
How about that? Because that's where Truman's from. Mm-hmm. And what it takes to create a new county is 80,000 people.
Representing independence right here, myself and Dakota Worrell.
Yes, sir.
Whoop, whoop.
That's right.
There you go. So it takes 80,000 people to start a new county. In eastern Jackson County.
That's it. 80,000 to start a new county.
Right. In eastern Jackson County, I think I calculated out to be around 275,000, somewhere in that neighborhood.
So that's a big possibility that we can actually do this.
Oh, we could do it. We just have to get it, all our ducks in a row.
What's stopping us? What do we have to do to get our ducks in a row? What's that look like?
Part of it is me getting to the Secretary of State's office, having a petition put together with the right verbiage on the petition, and then going out and getting as many signatures as we can. 100 is all we need, but we need to show the support of eastern Jackson County.
Of course.
So we need to get as many signatures as we can. Hopefully, I will be able to do that sometime before summer's over.
Okay, so let me bring this up. This is just me thinking. So the only way, because people are talking about getting rid of Frank White. They want him out of office. The Democrats are talking about it as well. The only way that's going to work is if the Democrats put that together. The Republicans need to stay out of that issue. Let the Democrats eat their own and go after Frank White, because I think they finally found out, hey, he's a trashy, great baseball player, trashy county executive. But do you think the Democrats, Jeff, need to take this issue up as well, since they control the city of Kansas City and the Republicans control eastern Jackson County?
Yeah, let them keep Kansas City. Let them keep Kansas City. I do think.
Do you think this is going to have to be like some sort of their idea to do this? or do you think they're going to want to keep Jackson County because they get money from the county anyway?
Well, there will be pushback from the city. We know that, but I don't think it's up to them. I really think it's a matter of us. It's almost like the idea of exit, or or the idea of seceding peacefully.
Seceding, that's right.
Yeah.
We should have the right to secede from the city, and they shouldn't be able to force us into that relationship we don't want.
Well,
Does the county charter have anything to say about that at all?
yeah, the county is gonna have to approve it and put it on the ballot. In the ballot,
Do you see where this could fall apart?
oh, I get it. But
So I'm all for this, and we've talked about this to a huge extent ourselves. But looking at this practically and thinking about this, do you think the county will go for this? What's going to be the benefit of Kansas City? What is Jackson County going to benefit out of this?
there's no benefit to Kansas City.
Well, sure there is. They no longer have to be tied with those evil MAGA Republicans they hate so much.
On the
Well,
east side of the county.
Yeah.
but they don't have to worry about us anyway.
Well, why don't we go ahead and take North KC with us too, because they're pretty evil Republican as well.
Well,
They're already in Clay County.
they're already in Clay County. Yeah.
They don't have to deal with them.
Why don't we take part of Clay County then? I mean, might as well since we're at it.
Well,
I'm joking. You guys up
Yeah.
in Clay County, I love you guys. You're doing a great job up there in Clay County. I do have to say that.
yeah, doing a much better job than Jackson for sure.
That's the truth.
So at any rate, that's on the table. That's we're working on that, and for those who listen, know that we're going to need your support to try to get out and get signatures, and let's try to get this done. We'll talk to Sean Smith, who is doing an absolute knockout job right now for the county in his very first year.
Jeff, we've known Sean for quite a long time. We have quite a long time, and we've been pushing him to run for a spot to get elected because we knew that he would actually work for the people, and he's the type of Republican that we like. And he got this spot when Teresa Galvin ran for county executive. He ran for her county legislative seat, and he got it. And he has been out there working he's like, look, this was supposed to be a part-time job that I do, but this has turned into more than a full-time job.
He's thrown himself into it.
I mean, he really has. He left to go on vacation for a week. He goes, it wasn't a vacation. I was still working. He did tell me, he said, hey, I'm just coming back from Utah. I was supposed to be taking a vacation, but I was doing legislative work. He goes, and if it's doing this for the people of my county, I would rather do that. So he loves what he does. He loves helping you guys. And go ahead.
How much did he pay you to say that? Holy cow. Why don't you ever give me an endorsement like that? Wow.
Do you want me to?
I'm kidding.
I think I do pretty good giving you the endorsement, Jeff.
Yeah, he's an awesome
I'll
guy.
come over there and kiss your cheek if you want.
No, that's okay. That is quite all right. You stay on that side of the table. Sean does an awesome job, and he really does have a heart for this. And he is driving this Senate Bill 190, which is the bill we talked about earlier for the property taxes. He is driving that in such a way that he's trying to make the most out of that bill from the county side. And the question is how much can he get done, because he's got a, 1.5, I shouldn't say that. There's a
I'm leaving that in there. That is not getting edited out.
there's a 2-seat Republicans and 7 Democrats.
He said 1.5.
1.5. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Most people will know what I mean by that. So, at any rate, he's got a big hill to climb, but wow, what a job he's doing, and he's getting them to understand why they have to do this, and he's getting the votes.
Well,
so
see, I want to take down the statue, Manny Arbaka, is even on Sean's side and has been working with Sean.
is he the one that wants to take the statue down?
Yeah, he does. So
See-
remember, was it 2 years ago that the county voted
Yeah.
to keep the statues? Teresa Gallivan,
It wasn't the county. They voted to put it on the ballot and let
Well,
the
the
people
residents
decide.
of the county,
And,
yeah.
and Jackson County decided to keep those up.
so,
So
they're
the-
wanting to get rid of
The
them
people wanted to keep it.
by 30%, I want to say, by a big
big-
margin.
big margin.
And that was the time when we were canceling Uncle Ben from the rice
Yep,
box,
yep.
Aunt Jemima from the syrup bottle. Who else am I forgetting? Lando Lakes from the butter container.
I just want to point out that the party that talks all the time about our democracy and democracy wants to go around the people, the will of the people, and take down the statue because the elites don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you what Manny said, because Pete Mundo from KCMO asked him that very question.
You mean our friend?
Our friend, well, okay, I guess, yeah, we can say that.
Yeah, we can say that. He's a great friend.
He's a great friend. Do you want me to go? He didn't pay me for this endorsement either, but I can.
We hope that he'll come on our show sometime.
Our BFF Pete.
Our BFF Pete. So he was talking to Manny Arbaka, and he asked him that very question though. He said, you talk about democracy and subverting the will of the people. Isn't this doing the same thing? He goes, well, the state legislature does it all the time.
So his answer to that was to completely deflect and not answer the question.
So the state legislature does
So,
not do that all the time.
Mr. Representative Jeff Coleman from the Missouri State Legislature.
Yeah, I'll take that on every day.
Let's do it. I think I said, oh, this is a fight that he does not want to have.
See, the thing is that the people voted us in, and when we pass legislation, we are passing that legislation based upon the majority of the people and what they want, because we're a representative republic. And so we are doing what the people who voted us in want us to do. So maybe
Wait a
his little
second.
section of
Wait a
people.
second. So you're telling me that people will vote for someone that holds their own values to send them somewhere to pass legislation that would hold their values?
Yeah, that's kind of the way our Constitution works.
Whoa.
That means there's more there's more to life, or that there's life outside of the city limits of Kansas City.
There you go.
That
And if you
democratic
because
cesspool.
that.
If
So
you guys couldn't tell, though, that I was being totally sarcastic.
no, I get it. I understood exactly where you're going, and to your point, Dakota, we have lots of legislation that passes through initiative petition
Correct.
that should not have passed because the whole state didn't get out to vote on it.
Correct.
So when you get your people in a democracy, which is not what we are, the democracy piece where Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, Columbia, those are the ones that always take the legislation on an initiative petition and get it passed because they're the majority in those areas, and
So-
we don't always have to, and that's why we want to change the
IP
initiative.
reform.
Yes.
So those 4 or 5 counties, they control when we have an IP initiative petition on the ballot. Those 4 or 5 counties control what the entire state does because of the population of that state, of those counties. Am I correct?
Well, yes and no, because those cities or those counties within those cities are the ones that get out and vote in those kind of issues. Because what happens is,
Well, you would think that the rural counties would get out.
you
and
would
vote
think
as
so.
well.
You would think so, but that's not what happens. And in fact, let me give you a good example of that. Clean Missouri. Clean Missouri was an initiative petition they got all these people looking up here in the sky
That was
at all
such a
the little
disaster.
candy things that they had out there. Like, we're going to reduce how much money you can contribute to a candidate.
There was no candy, and people do not understand the amount of money. It sounds great in theory. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have it. I can.
No, here's the thing. Because
All three of us has run for office and well, you're the only one that at the table that has actually won, but all three of us have
Just lucky.
run for office. And when you start trying to fundraise, holy cow! I can this can be a whole nother segment. So it is very difficult to fundraise and keep it at a certain minimum or a certain maximum at one time.
Well, and you know, this idea of limiting campaign contributions and limiting candidates,
What's that going to help?
it actually, what it does is it makes dark money darker, because you know
No,
who's
you're exactly right.
you know who's not limited?
PACs.
The PACs. So
And you know what
where does
happens?
that money flow? The money is still there.
Correct.
The money is going to go to eventually. The money doesn't leave politics. Okay, the money is going to keep flowing to politics one way or another. So is it going to flow to the candidates who are running to be elected directly by the people, or is it going to flow to these PACs controlled by special interests?
Well, it's going to be controlled by the special interests. Like you said, it goes from one PAC to another PAC to another PAC. And by the time you get to the fourth PAC, you're just going to see, okay, PAC A got $100 million of contribution money. They gave $100 million to PAC B. So now PAC B, when it records their financial statement, oh, we have $100 million from PAC A.
All it
By
is.
the time you get to PAC C, that's like, okay, PAC B gave us money, and now PAC C is giving $100 million out to candidates. Oh, where do
It's
these
money
candidates,
laundering, guys.
where-
It's
where do-
money laundering.
Where do these candidates get that money from? Oh, they got it from a PAC C. Okay,
let me break it down a different way.
okay. I'm sorry. I
No,
said
you're good.
we can go on this
I know.
forever. I have a whole rant about this.
This
but
will make
this
it
is
simple.
like out
right?
of the atmosphere where we don't need to be at right now.
Well, this will make it simple. Before all this stuff happened, anybody could get money from anybody, and there was no cap on it, right? However, you had to report every dollar that you got. So if Dakota wanted to see how much money I was getting for my campaign and who I was getting it from,
Yeah.
you could go to my MEC report and you could say, oh, he's getting money from the NRA.
Joe Smith.
I don't like that. I'm not voting for him. Now, under the new guidelines, the company, I can't take money from a corporation. I can't take money from certain institutions. But guess what? A corporation used to be able to give me $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, and you'd know about it. Now, they still give me that same money. I wish I did get that much money, but I don't.
They don't give you literally.
But
Campaign
what happens
contribution.
is that company sets up.
Campaign contributions.
Yeah,
are
let's
different
say
than
let's say
personal
they would
income,
give.
By the way,
Yeah, let's say they give me $20,000 under the old system.
right.
Under the new system, I can't even take money from them. But guess what? They can set up 10 packs,
Yes.
and they can give me $2,000 from each one of those packs, which still gives me the $20,000 because they got 10 packs,
Right.
$2,000 from each. You'll never know that company X gave me that money.
And that is in fact what they do. That's actually what they do.
No, you're-
and what
yep.
that does is it makes money that was under the light of day dark.
Dark.
It makes it dark money.
And that's why.
So
that's
what's
how they
funny
do it.
is the Democrats said, "Oh, the Republicans don't want this." Excuse me, I'm sorry. The Republicans don't want this because they want to hide. They want to keep hiding their money, and we kept saying, "No, our money will not be hidden. It's in the light of day. What you're doing is making darker money darker." That was our whole talking point.
And let me just
Right now they have too much dark money coming in. They don't want to show everybody where their dark money is coming from. No, it's doing the opposite. And this is what the Democrats always do, folks. They always
project.
do this. They
They project.
project what they are doing.
If they accuse you of something, you are 100% correct if you just assume it's them that are doing it. The Democrats will always accuse you of what it is they're
Oh,
doing.
it's so frustrating. You know that? Sorry.
They're liars.
That's-
You know what? We need to get off this rant.
Yeah, let's move on to the next
I'm
one.
sorry. Okay, so let's wrap up with the property tax thing.
Yeah, the property taxes, just get out. Make sure that this weekend you get out. It's simple. Go on Google. Ask Google to show you where to appeal your Jackson County, Missouri property taxes. It'll take you right to the same screen. So get out and do that. Let's move on to some more national stuff now.
Yeah, country music is gaining some popularity, isn't it,
It's
Jeff?
my favorite.
Try that in a small town.
Good job.
Nice.
Good
nice.
job.
Yeah, I got to give you credit there, Dakota. So, I got to say this also. A few weeks ago, Becky and I, we were in the kitchen doing some dishes, and yes, guys, I do the dishes. It's okay. It's not, I don't feel emasculated or anything.
Only when he's forced.
Oh, come on. So, anyway, we have our Alexa device set up at the kitchen window. And my wife, she goes, "Hey, Alexa, play country music." And I was like, "No, hold on a second, because this is a big deal in our house." She used to not like country. It threw me off, guys. I mean, honest to God, it did. It threw me off. She didn't like country music at all. And I'm like, okay, I can get down with this, because I would listen to a little bit of country here and there. About 10 years ago, I was huge into country. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, "Hey, Alexa, play country." And I'm like, wow, where did this come from? She's like, I mean, honestly, I've heard it too. The change in country music, the style of country music, has been more of like the 90s folk rock type of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's become more pop, I guess. And it gets people like her gravitated over country music. And we had Luke Combs come out with Fast Cars. Tracy Chapman, if you guys are familiar with that song, and I know you've heard about this. Tracy Chapman came out with this song, Fast Cars, which was a huge hit back in the day on the pop charts. And this song got remade and became huge on the country charts as well. And then now we have Jason Aldean and Small Town coming out that the left is also trying to cancel. So the reason they're trying to cancel these songs. What's Jeff doing over there? Are you trying to pull up the music for me?
I'm trying to find
The
one
lyrics?
of the original,
Oh, the original.
not Small Town, but one of the original songs that could have been woke. And I sent it out, and I'm trying to
canceled?
find it.
Canceled from being woke?
So I'd like to point out, so somebody did a fun chart where they put like the lyrics.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, they put the lyrics,
We'll get this going in the background for you guys while...
soothe them with Fast Cars. They put the lyrics of "Try That in a Small Town" on a chart next to the lyrics of "WAP" by Cardi B.
Oh, WAP.
Yeah, and they're
Oh,
like,
what?
Jeez, yeah.
and they're like, so like, okay,
Oh,
if you were to just read the lyrics, you're like, so which one is worse sounding?
Miss Becky just said this. Are we able to play that song?
Huh?
Are we able to play that song?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, yeah, because we might not be able to play it because
Actually-
we have to have permission.
No more than 10 seconds, so that was not even 10 seconds. Go ahead. Keep going. So,
Well, yeah. So you compare the lyrics of
WAP.
"Try That in a Small Town" to the lyrics of "WAP," and
Gosh, that's horrible.
yeah, which one's really worse? So everyone was cool with WAP, but as soon as a song comes out about small town America and their values juxtaposed to the values of the cesspools that we call cities in this
Juxtapose.
country, all of a sudden that's a big deal. Oh, I'm not even reading it. I'm not going to read it. Like, I'm not going to read Cardi B's lyrics.
You can't
I'm not
read
going to
that.
do it. But all we have to say
here, come here.
is,
Bring it here, and I'll edit it.
if you want to talk about, let's talk about violence against women, right? And promoting violence against women.
Yeah.
Go read on your own time the lyrics to WAP, and tell me that doesn't. You know, I'm not trying to be a prude or anything. I'm just saying, if you wanted to cancel
you sound
something,
kind of prudish. You sound like a right-wing prude.
well, and I'm not for canceling, but like, if you wanted to cancel something, read the lyrics to WAP and tell me if, like, you know, objectively speaking, take your politics out of it. Like, which would you like cancel?
Are we asking the left to be objective?
You're right. That was my first mistake.
Did you
So I'll go ahead and do it. I mean,
have you heard
Yeah.
have you heard Carrie Lake's new song?
Carrie, the lady that ran for governor
Yeah.
in Arizona?
Yeah, it's kind of
no,
funny.
I have not.
Here, let's see if I can.
Okay.
Song because they heard a speech I did where I said 81 million votes my ass. And they said, we want to make a song out of that. And I thought, I don't know. And then I thought, you know, they don't want us speaking about the bogus election. What if we start speaking about it and singing about it? So the song is really fun. And we're on the top of the Billboard charts. It's great. We want to troll Apple and the technocrats. And so go and download the song. That would be great.
I'll have to take a listen to it.
If you would have told me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that I would be in the middle of a political movement, I would have said, put down Hunter's crack pipe. Right now.
I can't afford the groceries. I can't afford your gas. It's about inflation across the nation. 81 million.
Well, shucks. It messed up on us right there when we were getting to the chorus of that song. But
You get the idea, right?
but you guys get the idea.
It's funny, and I love it. So there's so many songs out there that should not be an issue, and some of these songs were being talked about in different songs. I don't know, 5-10 years ago,
Right.
and nobody paid attention to them then.
No.
They were saying the exact same things. Don't come to the country. Don't come to a small town and try doing the same things that you do in the cities. And they're not talking about any specific person. They're talking about city people,
right.
all city people.
Don't come to a small town and
No.
try to start riots.
Right.
Don't come to a small town and try to push, you know, anti-Christian values on us. You know, keep that in your little cesspools where that belongs, that you call cities.
That's right.
You know, we've all been to small towns. Well, heck, we've podcasted up in a small town, up in Gentry County with the Horners.
That's right.
I mean, little town of
King City, I think.
King
wasn't
City.
it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, if you guys haven't been to a true small town,
I grew up in Holden. Holden and Oak Grove. Those are small towns.
you know, would we consider Green Valley a small town now?
No, not anymore.
No.
Used to be.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people.
Is Oak Grove a small town?
Oak Grove's still a small town.
Buckner a small town?
Buckner's
Of
a
course.
small town.
But I'm looking at something like King City. You know, that is a small country town.
Yep.
If you tried to bring the riots, the wokeness, the
crime.
they solve, I'm telling you guys, they solve their own crime. You know why they solve their own crime? Or do you know how they solve their own crime?
Just don't try it in a small town, okay?
They support the Second Amendment,
That's right.
and they will make sure they exercise
They're
their
right.
rights.
Well, now you're about to get canceled for saying that now.
Well, that's just fine.
Yep. They can cancel us. I don't care.
They can cancel me all I want,
We-
all they want.
We still have good conservative people that listen to us.
You only get canceled if you come out and apologize for what you said.
Never apologize.
Never apologize
Never.
for what you believe in. And that's what I tell people all the time. They're like, oh, sorry, I believe in this. Why are you sorry? That's something you believe in.
I mean, you
Stick
said
up-
it. You had said it to begin with.
They don't apologize for what they believe in.
No, they
Stick
sure
up
don't.
for your values, stick up for your principles, and stand on that solid brick and mortar of not. I was going to say solid rock.
It's a foundation.
It's a foundation. You're absolutely right of your principles and your morals.
You know, they look at statements like that as being the extreme
Right-wing.
right-wing people. What's interesting about that is we used to be the middle of the road people.
Yep.
I haven't changed. What has changed is that the left
I
has
think
taken
I've
it so
changed.
far.
Since the left went further left,
Yeah.
I think I went a little bit further right. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of objectively.
I still believe in the same things I did before.
Okay, objectively, Jeff, I can say this because we're not Democrats. I can look at this from a 3,000-foot view and say, okay, I notice that the Democrats are going further right. So what am I going to do to compensate for that? I'm going to.
You mean further left?
What did I say?
You said
Right.
further right.
No, are you serious? I'm so sorry.
I wish they would go further to the right.
Great catch. I apologize, guys. So the Democrats are going further left, and I see myself to compensate for that going further right. I guess I'm not going. Everybody says it's so extreme. Like working out is a right-wing extremist thing.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
But,
if
you know-
if you want to eat better and take care of your health and go to the gym, now you're a right wing extremist. And when literally being healthy, which is like one of the simplest things that you could do,
Yeah.
like that you should be doing, is
Well,
now
we
a
should be
political
doing-
act.
During COVID.
That's now a political act to the left. That's absurd. I mean, we've reached levels of clown world that are hard to fathom right now.
You're
and
absolutely
and
right.
I think what's happening is not that like there's no radical right wing extremists. What it is people are reacting to what is obviously absurd, and they're saying we don't want this. That's it. That's all it is. It's not that like. This right-wing white supremacist blah 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 is just popping up out of nowhere and for no reason at all of a sudden they're just it's gonna be like Hitler 2.0 for no reason at all. It's
That's what they
that's how they're acting. But what's happening is the left is getting quite literally insane. You know, they've done scientific studies on this, and the rates of mental illness on the left are off the charts.
Well, of course,
compared
if you
to
let kids change their gender, children change their gender and chop off their genitals, you know,
It's insane.
That's insanity.
and people look at that and they think, well, I don't want that. And you've got Democrats and you've got people who are moderate or who are center left who are saying, I don't want that. That's not what I want. They don't want to leave the Democrat Party because they still don't like Republicans or whatever. They're not.
Well-
They don't consider themselves to be ultra conservative.
Correct.
But they don't want the insanity that's taken over their own party. And I'm sorry, like to those people, like you did that to yourselves first of all. So good luck. But like I got a harsh view of that. But the other thing is, if you don't want that, maybe you should check your assumptions. Maybe you should look at your worldview and think like, what led us here? Because it's your worldview that led us here in the first place. So do some self-reflection.
Who would have thunk that we would be in the world that we're in today, where people don't even know what gender they are?
what gender we are.
Oh my gosh! 20 years ago, you would have been looked at like you were a nutcase. So it's so amazing to me. That's my point. Everything is going so far left that you're pulling everybody else in your party, that you're leaving them behind, and you are now making it look like me, I've not changed one bit. I've always believed the same way I've
Jeff, let me ask you this then. Have you always believed in God,
Yes,
family,
yes,
country,
yes,
Constitution?
absolutely.
So you're a right wing extremist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I am.
You're far right because
If you look on and you've got the FBI now, and if you look at their website and look under domestic terrorists, guess who's going to be on there? You
Yep.
and you and me.
Yep.
Right-wing people.
And
Right.
again, it's not that we have become radical. It's that they have literally gone insane.
Yep.
And,
Oh my
and
gosh.
they're dragging the country with them. So they're moving the goalposts, they're redefining terms, they're pushing things on to people that people don't want, and then they're acting like it's the people's fault, like there's something wrong with the people and not with them. You know, going back to our friend Manny Arbaca, who says he believes in democracy, but does whatever he wants to do and bypasses the will of the people. They don't actually believe in what they say they believe in. You know, they're giant hypocrites.
Well, then Manny should love the idea of splitting the county and keeping Jackson County with Kansas City.
And
he
yeah.
could rule that. He could rule that.
He
whole
could,
thing.
and that would be nice if we could just be left alone. That's all we've ever wanted is to be left alone.
We just want to be represented.
But I've got bad news for you, Jeff.
That's what Republicans want.
I've got bad news for you. They are never going to leave you alone. They're never going to leave you alone.
You are absolutely
They're
right.
coming for your children. They said as much. They don't like you. They hate you.
So I'm going to set this up. We're
Well,
at
we're
the
going to
end.
have, we're at the end. We're going to do Coleman's Corner.
Yeah, and I'll
Do you want to save that for Coleman's
I'm
Corner?
going to save it for Coleman's Corner, and
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next time.
Oh, do you want me to welcome in Coleman's Corner?
I'm waiting on you, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was asking. Okay, just real quick. My 15-year-old, he works out every single day.
Wait a second. 15. Wasn't he 14 the last time we got together?
Well, he absolutely was.
Yeah, and so that means he's had a birthday.
he's had a birthday.
And when was this birthday?
July 24th.
Wow. That was just recently. You know what we should do?
What?
We should sing happy birthday.
I think Jeff should sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, he's
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gavin. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Well, happy birthday. Look at that. You got a
Yeah, happy birthday.
birthday song from Jeff.
Thank you.
So, real quick, though, I want to ask you, you work out every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a right-wing extremist, or do you even care about politics?
I don't really care.
You don't care?
No.
Can you talk a little bit louder for the people?
I don't care.
Okay, thanks.
Based.
All right. So, I mean, that's the point. I mean, people go to work out, and tell me why you work out.
To get big muscles.
Say that again.
To not be fat.
To not be fat, and what was the first thing you said? To build muscle.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
girls look at you.
No.
See?
So the guys look at you?
No. Hey, come on now.
No. So, just so you can be fit and healthy, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they're so expressive at this age, aren't they?
You know, I am finding that out more and more.
I just wish they would stop talking so much.
Do you talk too much?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you talk enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he would think so.
You
Talks
know,
just about enough.
He is a deep thinker, aren't you? Oh, he just took it out of the way.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
awesome, Gavin. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Okay, Jeff, here we go. Now I am going to give you 2 minutes for Coleman's Corner.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So just a brief take on the fact that we really want everybody to get out and get those property assessments, the appeals put in place. So make sure you get out there. If you have any questions, contact my office. We'll try to help you out. The next thing is I want to set up our next podcast because we get into some of the stuff that our government's doing, and everybody thinks that they're right-wing conspiracies. Well, guess what? The feds just put their money, their monetary, what do you call it? It does what Bitcoin. It's going to get rid of Bitcoin and all those. It's going to get rid of Bitcoin and all those other types of transactions. You'll have your own kind of debit card, and that's going to be probably the only option that you're going to have in the future is using the Fed plan. Guess what they get to do? they get to control what you buy and what you get to save. So understand, if you don't believe me and you think I'm starting to get right-wing conspiracy, go check it out. It just went live in July, and they're trying to put this in place really quickly. They want to have everybody online by the end of the year. So we'll talk more about that next week, and hopefully you guys have an awesome week and that you stay cool throughout the week, because it is going to get hot again. Thanks, guys. Go down and please like us and put us on your calendar and subscribe. That's right. That's what I was trying to say. Thanks, guys. Have a good week.